Hello, I'm Dawn Durham, and welcome to PaTTANpod. Family engagement promotes equitable partnerships among schools, families, and communities to actively advance student achievement, shared commitment, decision-making, and responsibility. We are so fortunate to have team members from our state system who focus on ensuring this mission of family engagement. Erin Campion, Linda Cartwright, and Jacqui DiDomenico. Thank you all for joining PaTTANpod today. We're excited to have this conversation. Linda, if I could just jump right in and start with you. You know, right now we're seeing an even stronger need for partnerships between families and schools and the larger community as a whole. When we think about Pennsylvania, we have parent consultants. We hear this term, but I'm not sure all of our listeners really understand what that means. Can you kind of walk us through the role and function of a parent consultant?
Yes, thanks, Dawn. You're absolutely right. Partnerships among schools, families, and communities are crucial for our children's success, and we promote the family component of those relationships. So parent consultants were hired in each of the PaTTAN offices many years ago to lend a parent's perspective to the great work that PaTTAN was performing with LEAs, serving students who receive special education services. So for example, we may share how confusing it can be to parents when educators use the jargon of special education, all the acronyms and abbreviations, and remind folks to take time to explain them so that parents can truly be informed. All of the parent consultants at PaTTAN have children with differing abilities, so we have walked the walk. Working alongside educational consultants, we serve on various initiatives within PaTTAN, like family engagement that you mentioned. The objective of the family engagement team is to support school staff in their efforts to bolster student success by enhancing family participation in all aspects of the educational journey. We know firsthand what 50 years of research has told us, that our students thrive when their families take an active and equal part in their children's learning and development. So part of our function on the Family Engagement Initiative is working with educators on creative, successful ways to collaborate with families and community members. Our team provides on-demand professional development modules on various topics of family engagement, and they can be found on our PaTTAN website. We invite national speakers to present on family engagement topics at statewide conferences. Our team works individually with school teams in their missions to enhance their family engagement efforts. And we develop and share publications and other family engagement resources and encourage school staff in turn to share resources with families so they can be engaged. While PaTTAN consultants don't, the parent consultants rather, don't advocate on behalf of individual families, we do help families understand the special education law, the process. We clarify things like special education forms. We'll get calls that say, I received this form from my child's school. I don't understand it. Can you explain it to me? We explain their rights, how to collaborate with their school teams to provide what will best serve their children's needs. We also share resources with them, with parents and professionals, and refer them to other agencies like parent advocacy organizations that support families that have children in special education. So organizations like Peel Center, HUNE, Mission Empower, the ARC. And we also direct parents to where they can go for help within the Pennsylvania Bureau of Special Education when they have questions or concerns.
You know, Linda, as you were talking, I was kind of just jotting down these big ideas that I really think resonate with some folks, our listeners. You had really talked about that the work of a parent consultant is to address things from a parent's perspective. And it sounds like one of the big goals is to break down barriers, to ensure that families understand what's happening. When they have questions, they have outlets and networks and resources to kind of go right towards. You had also talked about supporting school staff in engaging with families. As you had said, we know that successful achievement for our students has a large role with family engagement and how engaged families, guardians, siblings are all intertwined with the student success. So I think that's a real key piece. You talked about professional development and publications. It sounds like the work that parent consultants do is invaluable and kind of never ending, right? It's just constantly evolving based on the need and what's coming about. So I'm glad that you kind of brought up some of those key pieces. So thank you for that. Now, Jacqui, I'm going to jump to you here. Linda alluded to this a little bit about the empowerment to families and to guardians. And I want to just ask you about this family network that is really built around that empowerment piece and allowing families to connect with others. My understanding is Families to the Max is just that network. Can you help our listeners understand what is this network and why would it be beneficial for families to connect to these other folks?
Absolutely, Dawn. The Families to the Max network grew out of two different grants. Project Max, which was for students with complex instructional needs, and Middle School Success Path to Graduation, which focuses on students with emotional behavior issues. The work grew out of collaboration between PaTTAN, Peel, Pune, and the Bureau of Special Education. This work was developed with norms and a shared purpose, respecting diversity of all voices with effective, compassionate communication. When parents have been brought into this work, they decided that instead of it being a parent network, it should be titled Family Network. And that is the reason we call it Families to the Max. The most impact is through networking and parents sharing their stories and their experiences navigating special education. There's power in that ability to share your story, be heard, be validated, and find some understanding among other parents going through the process. The community itself is parents, professionals, and everything in between, so to speak. We find often that the more we reach out, the more information we receive. We've had parents and professionals share at national conferences, Pennsylvania state conferences, and we offer trainings that can be requested by parents or LEAs. We can go to a state task force meeting, a local task force meeting, PTA, a PTO, and share things around the guiding principles of Families to the Max, which are presuming competence, having high expectations, collaborating effectively on teams, and leading change. So the nice thing about the network is it can be reached through any of the partner agencies, PaTTAN, Peel, or Pune. And we also have f2max@pattan.net is our email.
You know, I love that this network kind of grew from other efforts, that we recognized there was a need to connect families. And you had said something that I think we just kind of need to repeat. This really gives families a voice, an opportunity to have their story be heard, to share their story, to learn from others, and to have this sense of empowerment, because families play such a key role in our student success stories. And so I'm so glad that this network was actualized because of that need. So, thank you for sharing that. And I'll just reiterate that this Families to the Max network is for all students who receive special education services, to really connect all of us together in that manner. So I'm so thankful for the network and for the work that you all do with families. Erin, I want to bring you into this conversation, if I may. Pennsylvania is looked at all over this country when it comes to matters of education. Pennsylvania is a state that others look to. And thinking about that and keeping that in mind, our listeners may want to explore more about the role of parent consultants, Families to the Max, and the work of family engagement across the state system. Can you share with us how we reach out or find more information, how to get involved, how to start thinking about ways in which I can connect with other families if I need that?
Sure. Thanks, Dawn. One of the best ways to get information is in our PaTTAN.net website. It's a good housing place and a good starting point. If you look at the website, even on the home page, in the picture, it's called the Hero Banner. They'll have events and conferences and things that are coming up. But specifically, if you look under supports, family engagement has its own tab. And on that tab, it's a great jumping off point to get started. It has the list of any coursework and any professional development trainings that are coming up that anyone's welcome to register for and participate in, anything that we are doing as a system to help LEAs build family engagement and start family engagement and improve how they are reaching out and including families in their decision making and in their communication. On that homepage, there's also a link for the modules, and you heard Linda talk about that. And we do have 6 modules for training for LEAs, for school districts, for staff that are available. And the wonderful thing about those modules is they can be done individually if just an individual teacher or administrator or staff person wanted to learn about communicating effectively or sharing decision making or building a welcoming school environment. But they're also created that entire schools could do it together. They could do it as a professional development day. They could do it to increase their learning, and it could be done in a large group. There is work in there in material to learn from, but there's also activities, and there's discussion points, and there's things that they can plan on and look at as an entity. So you can use it individually or as a group, as a school. And also on that same homepage with family engagement, we as parent consultants work really closely to try and create some family companion guides. For example, the Bureau of Special Ed came out with compensatory services guidance with COVID. They came out with a health and safety plan. And those documents are wonderful and thorough and very long. And as parent consultants, we worked as a team with the Family Engagement Initiative to get down to the essence and really clarify what that can mean for a school and their families. And we created the work. We created a one-page infographic that schools and teachers can use, can print off, can download, can share with their families so that families can understand that. It's a good, start to a meeting, a good way to share information. And we already have those available and on our website for school districts to use. There's also links on that family engagement page for videos and resources and how to get in touch with us. We would love to talk to any school district or teacher or staff that would like to have a conversation. What can we do? What are some ideas? Here are some of our obstacles. And we're very willing as an initiative and as parent consultants to work with districts and schools to think about outside the box. How are you involving your families? What are you doing together? How do we get them resources? And that's just the family engagement page. There's other topics on there for school districts and LEAs to look at. But at the very top of the website, there's a tab for family information. And that's something that we hope that schools will share with their families, but that's also something that we share with the individual families that contact us. And it does have connections and coursework and publications that are real personal just for families. Because as Linda and Jackie mentioned, we do both. We work with the LEAs and we work with the families. As Jackie mentioned, we have Families to the Max, and they have their own drop down on that family information page to find out when coursework's coming, what's available, what get together. So between the family information tab and the family engagement tab, you're going to find a lot of information that we're happy to share, we're happy to work together, and we really hope gets out there to the field to make a difference.
Before I ask Linda and Jackie just their final thoughts on how families and LEAs can kind of get involved and learn more, I just want to highlight we're visiting the PaTTAN website, www.pattan.net. And there you had shared there was professional development opportunities, course modules, family companion guides. And I'd like to point out again that these infographics were created from parent perspectives. What is it as the parent, as the legal guardian, do you need to know about what's being shared here? There's videos and resources, contact information to put families directly in contact with you folks, the parent consultants, or PaTTAN support systems that could be there to offer guidance, resources. So I think that's an important piece to highlight. And Linda and Jackie, I'll just open it up to you. If you have other thoughts for those of us who are listening to visit or other resources that may be a benefit to guardians and families who want to feel that empowerment.
Yes, as Aaron and Jackie both mentioned, there are a lot of resources, and we're constantly updating and populating those two web pages that Aaron mentioned. There's even a tab on the family engagement page for LEAs that is entitled Resources to Share with Families. So a lot of the information that we try to share with families on the family information tab on the website, we duplicate on there so that LEAs that are on looking for family engagement resources and strategies have it right there and say, okay, let me see what I can share with the families to keep them in the know and to working collaboratively with us. And like we mentioned, a lot of our colleagues, our partners, the Peel Center, peelcenter.org, Hune Inc., Mission Empower, the ARC, all of them who are funded specifically to work with families and our advocacy organizations have many resources as well. So we try to publicize their events and resources as they do ours. So we're really trying to approach it from all angles so that families don't feel secluded and lonely and afraid, and they know that they can reach out to any of us and get the information that they need.
And I just would add to the vast amount of information that you've already gained from Aaron, myself, and Linda. We're always looking for parents and LEAs to provide us what the field needs. What are parents feeling like they don't find answers to, or what do LEAs hear from their parents that they need guidance on? Those are the kind of things that once we are made aware of them, we try and meet those needs, whether we have to go to initiative leads in other areas, in the other PaTTAN other parent educational consultants, or if we have to use some of those agencies that support parents across the state and create documents or publications or pods, to meet those needs.
I love that this is really adaptive, right? That's what you're saying here is we'll adapt to whatever the needs are, tell us the needs, and we'll adapt to them. And it's really, there were two words, ladies, as we continue to have this conversation, collaboration and empowerment. Those are the two words that I feel are critical for our listeners to kind of hold on to as we wrap this up. So thank you all for being here to walk us through what does it mean to be a parent consultant, and more importantly, how do we work collectively to really engage with families and LEAs for the benefit of our students. So thank you for joining PaTTANpod. We were so excited to have you on today.
Thank you, Dawn. We loved being here, and thank you for letting us have a chance to talk about our roles and how we can help.
We're looking forward to having you again. Thank you to all of you in the field. You are truly an inspiration to us all. A special thank you to John Ragsdale for producing this podcast. We'll see you next time on PaTTANpod.